Malaga Radio.
Freshly squeezed.
The juice on all the daily events along the coast.
With just a little bit of zest.
Hola and welcome. You're listening to the Weekly Diary on Malaga Radio. I'm Carmen.
And I'm Baptiste. Every week we guide you through the best events, festivals, and experiences across the Costa del Sol.
And what a week we have. It's the start of October with golden autumn light, inland food fiestas, music still filling the nights, and even chestnut walks to tempt you off the beach.
So whether you're tuning in from Malaga itself, planning your holiday, or just daydreaming about Andalusia, stay with us. This episode has everything from ferias and food to sport, culture, and our travel tip of the week.
This is episode 38 of the Weekly Diary. Let's dive in.
Malaga Radio.
Hola and welcome. It's October on the Costa del Sol and you're with us, Carmen and Baptiste on Malaga Radio's Weekly Diary.
A new month, a new rhythm. Summer may be behind us, but October here is anything but quiet.
Exactly. It's one of my favorite times of year. The light changes, the evenings cool down just enough, and there's a golden glow on the coast. And of course, the events don't stop. They just shift gears.
So grab a coffee, or maybe a glass of Rioja. We're about to dive into October in Malaga and why it's such a special month for both locals and visitors.
Let me paint you a picture. You walk through a plaza in the evening. The air is warm but not heavy. The sky is streaked with copper and rose. And somewhere on the corner, you smell chestnuts roasting.
Meanwhile, on the beach, the sun loungers are fewer, but the sea is still swimmable. Tourists in October aren't here just for tanning. They are hikers, foodies, culture lovers. You hear more walking boots than flip-flops.
And more jackets than bikinis after sunset. But the atmosphere is wonderful. It feels like Malaga exhales after the summer rush. Yet, it's still alive with festivals, food fairs, and traditions.
In other words, October is the month the Costa del Sol shows its other side. Less sunscreen, more story.
And yes, October still brings ferias. The big one is Fuengirola Feria del Rosario from the 6th to the 12th. Horses, music, the fairground. Alive with Andalusian dresses and casetas, spilling over with food and flamenco. It's one of the crown jewels of the Feria calendar.
Then just days later, Nerca has its Feria from the 9th to the 13th. Imagine celebrating in a town that overlooks the sea from the famous Balcón de Europa. It's smaller than Fuengirola, but just as spirited with parades, concerts, and fairground rides against those coastal views.
And don't forget San Pedro Alcántar, later in October near Marbella. Each feria has its own flavor, but together they close the year's cycle of major coastal ferias. Malaga in August may steal the headlines, but Fuengirola and Nerca keep the autumn dancing.
I like to think of them as the bookends. Malaga starts the feria season with a bang, and Fuengirola and Nerca make sure it doesn't fade quietly.
Now, if ferias are the heartbeat of October, the food festivals are its soul. The first Saturday of the month is Sopas Perotas Day in Álora. Huge pots of the town's famous rustic soup are served free in the square, and everyone gathers to taste, to sing, to celebrate.
And just up the road in Teba, you have the Feria del Queso Artesano, the artisan cheese fair. Over 50 producers bring their cheeses from all across Andalusia, and you wander from stand to stand with bread, tasting sheep's milk, goat's milk, soft and cured varieties. It's heaven for cheese lovers like me.
Further inland, in Cútar, the festival of Monfí remembers the Moorish heritage of the Exarchia, with food, craft markets, and medieval-style performances. And then, of course, come the chestnuts. Marbella's Dia del Tostón fills the town with the smell of roasted castanas, and the copper forest of the Genal Valley glows as the chestnut leaves turn orange and red.
October also means grape harvests and the first olive festivals. So yes, you can say goodbye to beach club cocktails and hello to wine tastings, hearty stews, and countryside fiestas.
I'll take both, thank you very much. October isn't just about food and ferrayas. It's also Picasso Month in Malaga, celebrating the city's most famous son with special exhibitions and events at the museums. It's a time when art really takes the stage.
Add to that the French Film Festival, which brings screenings, directors, and red carpet moments into the city. And don't forget the concerts at the Cervantes Theatre or the exhibitions at CAC Málaga and the Pompidou.
It's the month when culture tourists really arrive, people who plan their trip around art, cinema, and heritage. The beaches may be quieter, but the museums and theaters buzz with energy.
Which is perfect timing. Less crowded than August, but with programs that feel just as rich.
Now, nightlife in October takes on a different feel. The big summer beach parties wind down, but the music doesn't stop. You'll find candlelight tribute concerts in historic venues. Vivaldi by violin in a candlelit monastery, or Coldplay reimagined by a string quartet.
Meanwhile, the clubs in Marbella and Torremolinos shift into their autumn schedule. Less daytime pool party, more late-night house sessions, tribute bands, flamenco tableaus, jazz nights. October proves music here is truly year-round.
And with so many tourists still arriving, the energy doesn't fade. It just changes flavor.
And October might be the best month of all for sport. Malaga, CF, and Hermea FC are in full swing. The basketball season begins with Unicaja, and golf courses are at their absolute best.
There are also marathons and city runs, mountain bike challenges, and sailing regattas along the coast. And for the gentler souls, guided hikes into the copper forest, bird watching in Donana, or yoga on the beach with the autumn sunrise.
It's active tourism at its finest, whether you want to cheer from the stands or lace up your trainers.
So that's October. Golden afternoons, cooler evenings, and a calendar packed with tradition, taste, art, music, and sport. It's a month that proves Malaga is never just a summer destination.
It's the Costa del Sol's golden month. Less sunscreen, more soul.
Beautifully put. And if you want to explore any of the events we've mentioned, ferias, fiestas, concerts, hikes, you'll find all the details and links on malagaradio.net.
We'll be back in a moment with the rest of the weekly diary. For now, enjoy October wherever you are listening.
Malaga Radio.
So October has arrived, and one of the things I love most about this month is how it feels like every weekend there's a festival just waiting around the corner. It's like the calendar is bursting at the seams with color, music, and food.
And what I find fascinating is how each town has its own style. The coast has the big lights and fairgrounds, sure. But head inland, and suddenly you're at a plaza surrounded by medieval stalls, or sharing soup with strangers, or discovering a cheese you didn't even know existed.
Exactly. It's like the Costa del Sol is saying, we're not done with fiestas just because summer ended. In fact, October might be the month when tradition feels most alive. Let's begin in Torrox. Now, they always remind us that they've got the best climate in Europe, and honestly, it's a good excuse to celebrate. Their feria fills the town with music, dancing, fairground rides, and late-night parties. But what I love is the mix of locals and visitors. You can be dancing sevillanas one moment and chatting with someone from Germany or the UK the next.
And Torrox Feria isn't just about the fairground. You wander through the old streets and every corner has something. Live bands, little casitas where families are singing, kids running around with candy floss. It's such a warm atmosphere, very Andalusian, but also very welcoming.
And don't forget the food. Torrox has some of the best migas. That traditional fried breadcrumb dish with chorizo and sardines. It's the kind of fria food that keeps you going long into the night.
If Torrox gives you the Feria energy, Cártama gives you something more historical. The Noches de la Bella Jarifa turn the town into a scene from medieval Andalusia. The story comes from old romances, and they celebrate it with parades, torchlight, and markets that smell of spices and roasted meats.
Oh, it's beautiful. Picture narrow streets lit by lanterns, stalls selling ceramics and handmade jewelry, performers in Moorish costume playing flutes and drums. You honestly feel like you've stepped back in time. And at night, the whole town glows with that special autumn magic.
And it's not just for tourists. The whole town turns out. Families, schools, community groups all take part. It's one of those events where you feel history and tradition being kept alive, not as a show, but as a celebration.
And staying in that medieval theme, the Fiesta del Monfí in Cútar is another highlight. It honors the Morisco history of the Axarquía, the people who stayed behind after the Reconquista. It's full of craft markets, Andalusian music, and traditional dishes with that Moorish touch. Honey, almonds, spices.
Cútar itself is such a charming village. Oh, whitewashed walls and narrow lanes climbing up the hillside. When it fills with stalls and musicians, it feels like a living history book. And the food? Oh, don't even get me started. Pastries with almonds and honey, couscous dishes, and of course, plenty of local wine.
It's the kind of fiesta where you spend the whole afternoon just wandering, sampling, and soaking up the atmosphere. And then by evening, the music takes over and suddenly you're dancing under the stars.
Now, Álora does things differently. Their Dia de las Sopas Perotas is one of my absolute favorites. Imagine a whole town gathering in the main square with enormous cauldrons bubbling away and everyone lining up to receive a bowl of this hearty bread-based soup.
Yes, it's rustic, it's filling, and it tastes like the countryside. Bread, vegetables, olive oil, a touch of garlic. Simple ingredients, but when they're cooked in massive pots and handed out for free, it becomes a feast of community spirit.
And the music, the dancing, the laughter. You don't just eat soup, you share it with strangers who become friends for the day. And that's the magic of Andalusia and the fiestas. Food isn't just food, it's connection.
And it always makes me smile that the soup was originally a peasant dish, something made to feed workers in the fields, and now it's celebrated as part of the town's heritage. It's a lovely reminder of how traditions evolve. And then we go from soup to cheese, glorious cheese. Teba's Artisan Cheese Fair is an absolute must for food lovers. Over 50 producers from across Andalusia set up their stands, and you can taste your way through soft goat's cheese, cured sheep's cheese, creamy blends with herbs, even blue cheeses that will knock your socks off.
It's like a treasure hunt for flavors. You grab a piece of bread, wander from stall to stall, and before you know it, you've built yourself a meal out of samples. And yes, you can buy everything you taste. So people leave with bags full of cheese, olives, and wine.
And Teba itself is such a pretty setting with its castle ruins on the hill. You walk around eating cheese with a castle in the background. It feels like something out of a postcard.
And trust me, nothing makes you more popular with friends than showing up at dinner later with artisan cheese from Teba. It's a guaranteed invitation to the next party.
So what a week it is. You can ride fairground attractions by the sea in Torrox, step back into Andalusi legends in Cártama, celebrate Morisco heritage in Cútar, share soup in Álora, and taste cheese in Teba, all within just a few days. It's incredible how much variety October offers.
And what ties it all together is the spirit of community. Every one of these festivals is about people, locals, opening their doors, inviting you in and saying, this is who we are. Come share it with us. That's why I love this coast.
And we're only just getting started because while October is full of traditions, it's also bursting with culture, exhibitions, theater, film festivals, and of course, a certain painter whose birthday we'll never forget.
Yes, up next we dive into culture and exhibitions. From Picasso Month to the French Film Festival, it's a feast for art lovers. So don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Weekly Diary with Carmen and Baptiste on Malaga Radio.
Malaga Radio.
Now, if October is all about food and ferias, it's also about slowing down a little and stepping into a gallery, a theater, or even a cinema. The cultural calendar this month is just as colorful as the festival.
And honestly, this is one of the reasons that October is so popular with visitors. The beaches are still there, but you can also fill your days with art, history, and performances without breaking into a sweat.
Let's start with the big one. October is Picasso Month here in Malaga. Every year, the city celebrates its most famous son with exhibitions, workshops, and guided tours. The Picasso Museum, the Birthplace Foundation, and even the Pompidou all join in. It's like the whole city becomes a giant canvas.
And it's a great excuse to wander between venues, start at Plaza La Merced, where Picasso was born, stroll past the Roman Theater, and finish in the museum's beautiful courtyard. You don't need to be an art historian to enjoy it. It's about seeing Malaga through the eyes of someone who changed art forever.
And there's something poetic about it being October, the season changing, the light softer, and you're standing in front of paintings that reinvented how we look at the world.
From paintbrushes to cinema. Malaga also hosts the French Film Festival in October. Expect red carpets at the Albanese cinema, screenings of new French releases, and even director Q&As. It's got that mix of glamour and intimacy. You might be watching a serious drama one night and laughing at a French comedy the next.
And I love the setting. The Albanese is right by the Roman Theater and the Alcazaba. You step out of a film screening and you're surrounded by history lit up at night. It's pure Malaga magic.
Plus, it attracts an international crowd, expats, film buffs, students. It feels cosmopolitan in a way that reminds you Malaga isn't just sunshine and tapas, it's a cultural capital.
Speaking of performance, October also brings a rich theatre season. The Cervantes Theatre always has a strong program, from classical plays to contemporary dance. And there are smaller venues like the Echegarre, where you can catch intimate productions.
And it's not only Spanish language shows. Some companies are experimenting with bilingual productions or at least surtitles. So even if your Spanish isn't perfect, you can still enjoy the energy of live theater.
And dance too. Flamenco performances continue year-round, but in October they feel different. The tableaus are more relaxed after summer, and you get the sense that the artists are performing for the love of it, not just for the tourist season. October is also a wonderful month to dip into Malaga's museums, and this year the exhibitions are truly special. At the Carmen Thyssen Museum, they've got 3 highlights. American People, American Documentary Photography runs until the 13th with incredible images by Walker Evans and Harry Callahan. Then from the 7th, Torrox and Primitive opens, bringing together Spanish modernists like Miró, Tapiz, and even Picasso. And later in the month, on the 23rd, Rembrandt the Engraver begins, showing 35 of his original prints. Honestly, you could spend hours just in that museum alone.
And it's not just about the exhibitions. The building itself is beautiful. That old palace courtyard with the sunlight streaming in makes it feel like an oasis between galleries. But if you're after something a little more cutting edge, the CAC, Malaga Contemporary Art Center, is always worth a visit. They haven't revealed all the details yet, but October is when bold new shows arrive. Street art influences, installations, international names. It's free to enter, and it's the sort of place where you pop in for a quick look and end up staying all afternoon.
And then down at Miele Uno, you've got the Pompidou, the famous glass cube glowing by the harbor. Inside, the exhibition To Open Eyes is running all autumn with works from Picasso, Miró, Frida Kahlo, and more. There's also Ors Pistes, El Sueño Animal until November, a very avant-garde, dreamlike look at animals in art. And the permanent collection explores how we inhabit space, with everything from classic leisure to bold contemporary installation.
And the best part, when you step back outside, you're right on the harbor promenade. Tapas bars, the sea breeze, and the sunshine are waiting for you. That's the joy of Malaga's museums. World-class art, but never far from a coffee or a glass of wine with a view. What I like is how Malaga has matured as a cultural city. 10 years ago, you might have said it was all about Picasso. Now it's a whole network of museums and exhibitions that make it one of Europe's must-see art hubs.
So whether it's celebrating Picasso, watching French cinema, or catching a new exhibition, October proves that culture is very much alive on the Costa del Sol.
And if that makes you hungry, well, good news, because next up, we're talking food and hospitality. From village soups to artisan cheese, wine harvests, and plenty of tapas.
Stay with us. You're listening to the Weekly Diary on Malaga Radio.
Malaga Radio.
So after all that dancing and history in the ferias, I think it's time we sat down at the table, because October in Malaga is also about flavors. The kind that take you straight into the heart of Andalusian life.
Yes, this is when the coast and the inland villages really tempt you with food festivals, rustic soups, artisan cheeses, wine harvests, chestnut fairs. It's like the whole month is one big menu.
We mentioned it earlier, but it's worth a reminder. The first Saturday in October is Alora's Día de las Sopas Perotas, enormous cauldrons of this bread-based soup ladled out for free in the town square. It's one of those dishes that taste of the countryside. Olive oil, vegetables, garlic, and bread transformed into something warming and hearty.
And the best part is the atmosphere. You're not just eating soup, you're sharing it with everyone around you. Families, hikers, tourists, locals. There's music, dancing, and the sense that food really is community.
Which is why it surprises me you even make it to Álora, Baptiste. Isn't your heart always in Teba, surrounded by cheese stalls?
Guilty as charged. I admit it, when the artisan cheese fair comes around, I'm like a kid in a sweet shop.
A kid in a cheese shop, more like. Over 50 producers, endless samples, I swear. You need to be rolled back down the hill afterwards.
And can you blame me? It's not just a fair, it's like a pilgrimage for food lovers. Soft goat's cheese, strong cured sheeps, even blue cheese that makes you sit down for a minute. Heaven.
Exactly. And beyond the cheese, you get olive oils, honey, cured meats, all the good things that make you wish you'd brought a bigger shopping bag. Pair it with a glass of wine from the region, and suddenly you understand why these inland fairs are so cherished. Speaking of wine, October is the season when many villages celebrate the grape harvest. You'll find bodegas offering tastings, tours, and special menus. The Axarquía is especially proud of its sweet muscatel wines, perfect with local pastries.
And in Ronda, the vineyards are in their golden season, the leaves turning color, the air crisp. It's a fantastic time to visit a winery, do a tasting, and take home a bottle or two. Wine tourism is such a growing part of the Costa del Sol's identity, and October is when it really shines.
And then come the chestnuts. Marbella celebrates del Día del Tostón. Everyone gathers to roast and eat chestnuts, especially after All Saints. And inland, the Chinal Valley becomes the copper forest, with its leaves turning orange and red. Villages like Puchera and Igualeja hold chestnut festivals with music, dancing, and of course, endless trays of roasted castinas.
There's something very grounding about it. After the high energy summer, October brings you back to earthy, simple flavors. Chestnuts, olive oil, local stews. It's food that tells you autumn is here.
But don't think it's just about the villages. On the coast, towns often run tapas routes in October. Bars competing with creative small plates where you can taste your way around town with a little passport to collect stamps. It's fun, affordable, and a great way to explore new spots.
And let's not forget the restaurants. Marbella and Malaga both see new autumn menus launched in October. Seasonal fish, wild mushrooms, game dishes. Hotels host brunches, and some even organized wine pairing dinners to mark the season.
It's a reminder that the Costa del Sol isn't just about beach clubs and paella. The gastronomy here is deep, varied, and always evolving.
So whether it's soup in Álora, cheese in Teba with me, wine in Ronda, or chestnuts in Marbella, October really does feed the soul as much as the stomach.
And we haven't even touched the nightlife yet, because music and parties don't disappear after summer. They just move indoors and take on a new flavor.
That's right. Up next, we'll dive into music and nightlife, from candlelight concerts to DJ sessions and flamenco tableaus. You're listening to the Weekly Diary on Malaga Radio.
Malaga Radio.
All right, we've had our fill of soups and cheeses. Now it's time for a different kind of feast, because October on the Costa del Sol isn't just about food and festivals. The music keeps playing and the nightlife is very much alive.
It just changes shape a little. The daytime pool parties fade, the beach clubs wind down, but the nights, they're still packed with concerts, DJs, flamenco, and those cozy venues that make autumn feel just as exciting as summer.
One of my favorites this time of year are the candlelight concerts. Imagine sitting in a beautiful old hall, hundreds of candles glowing all around, and hearing Vivaldi's Four Seasons, or even Coldplay, reimagined by a string quartet. It's spine-tingling.
I love that it's not just classical. You'll find tributes to rock, pop, even film soundtracks. One week it's Queen, the next is Hans Zimmer. It proves that live music here isn't just for festivals. It's intimate, atmospheric, and very much part of Malaga's cultural heartbeats.
And it suits October perfectly. Cooler nights, warm light, music that wraps around you. It's the kind of experience you remember long after you've flown home.
If you're craving something bigger, there are still major concerts in October. Tribute acts are especially popular, from Beatles nights to flamenco fusion bands. And some of the venues are spectacular, like Sohel Castle in Fuengirola or the auditoriums in Torremolinos and Marbella.
It's one of the joys of this coast. You can find world-class tribute shows that feel as energetic as the real thing. And people throw themselves into it, dancing, singing along, enjoying every note. And then there are the clubs. Marbella, Puerto Urbanos, Torremolinos. They don't stop just because the summer season is over. They adapt. The outdoor pool sessions give way to deeper late-night house and techno inside.
Exactly. October is when the real club crowd shows up, the people who love music for the music, not just the sunshine. DJs play longer sets, residencies get more experimental, and the energy is incredible.
And you always seem to find your way there, don't you? Cheese fair by day, dance floor by night.
Guilty. But that's the beauty of the Costa del Sol. You can eat artisan cheese at noon and still be front row for a DJ set by midnight.
But not all nightlife is about big beats. October is a brilliant month for flamenco tableaus. The crowds are smaller, the performances more intimate, and you get that raw emotional power of flamenco up close.
And for visitors who want something in between, there are jazz nights, blues bands, cozy wine bars with live acoustic sets. It's nightlife, but with a softer edge. Perfect if you want atmosphere without staying out until 4 a.m.
Though if you do want to stay out until 4 a.m., trust me, Malaga will still deliver.
So yes, October doesn't quiet the music, it just changes the stage. Candlelight concerts, tribute bands, flamenco passion, and DJs keeping the dance floors alive, it's all here.
And if that hasn't worn you out, wait until you hear what's next. Because October is also one of the best months for sport and the outdoors. From football to golf to chestnut season hikes.
Stay with us. You're listening to the Weekly Diary on Malaga Radio.
Malaga Radio.
So after all that music and nightlife, you might be thinking, how do people keep up the energy? Well, on the Costa del Sol, sport is just as much a part of life as fiestas.
Absolutely. October is a golden month for getting outdoors. The heat has eased off, but the days are still long, the sea's warm, and the calendar is packed with everything from football and golf to cycling, marathons, and even chestnut hikes.
Let's start with a beautiful game. Malaga CF are deep into their season now with La Rosaleda buzzing on match days. It's always worth going, even if you're not a diehard fan. The atmosphere, the chants, the sea of blue and white scarves. It's a slice of local life.
And don't forget Marbella FC. Smaller stadium, yes, but a passionate crowd and a more intimate feel. If you want to watch football where you're practically on the pitch with the players, Marbella is perfect. And tickets are usually easier to get.
Either way, football here isn't just a sport, it's a social event. Families, groups of friends, everyone heading to the stadium together. It's a great way to feel part of the community.
And basketball fans, Unicaja Malaga are back in action. The Martin Carpenter Arena is electric when the team plays. Green shirts waving, drums beating, fans chanting. It's a proper sporting spectacle.
I've always said basketball here feels like a festival. The music, the lights, the energy. Even if you don't know all the rules, you get swept up in the excitement. Now, October might be the very best month of the year for golf on the Costa del Sol. They don't call it the Costa del Golf for nothing. Courses from Valderrama to La Cala are in perfect condition and the weather is ideal, sunny but not scorching.
And the big tournaments are in full swing. The Marbella Championship is on, bringing in international players. Even if you don't play, it's fun to watch. The courses are stunning and the atmosphere is surprisingly lively for golf.
Surprisingly lively? Spoken like a football fan. But yes, golf here is a huge draw. And October is peak season for it.
For those who prefer to lace up their trainers, there are plenty of city runs this month. Estepona and Nerja both host popular 10Ks, and Malaga often has smaller charity runs. It's a brilliant way to see the town in a different light. Streets close to traffic, crowds cheering along the route.
And cycling too. The roads inland are full of riders this time of year. From casual bike tours to serious sportives, October is when the hills of the Axarquia and the Ronda mountains really come alive with cyclists.
The views make the climbs worth it. Olive groves, white villages, mountain ridges, and after, of course, there's always a village bar with tapas waiting.
And then there's the gentler side of outdoors. October is perfect for hiking. Cooler temperatures, golden light, and that stunning copper forest in the Ginal Valley as the chestnut leaves turn orange and red.
Guided hikes are popular. Some combine walking with tastings of local chestnut dishes or wine. And along the coast, yoga on the beach continues, but it feels different in October. Sunrise sessions with cooler air, fewer crowds, just the sound of the waves.
I love how October gives you that choice. You can run a 10K, play golf, or simply wander through a chestnut grove and still feel part of the season's rhythm.
So from stadium chants to mountain trails, October really is a month to get moving. Sport here isn't separate from life. It's woven into the way people enjoy the season.
And as always, you'll find the details, fixtures, and event listings on malagarail.net. But don't go away, because next we'll bring you our port roundup, plus a travel tip to help you explore the coast in true Malaga style.
You're listening to the Weekly Diary with Carmen and Baptiste on Malaga Radio.
Malaga Radio.
Now, let's take a look at what's happening down by the sea. Malaga's port has another busy week ahead with cruise ships coming and going, markets opening, and thousands of visitors stepping ashore.
And what's fun is each ship brings its own personality. Germans, Brits, luxury travelers, even boutique cruisers looking for artisan markets. They make the port feel like a crossroads of the world.
We kick off on Monday with a busy double call. Mein Schiff 4 arrives, bringing around 2,500 German passengers. These ships are famous for their big excursion groups, so expect plenty of buses heading to Granada and Cordoba.
And alongside it, the Spirit of Adventure docks just under 1,000 passengers, mostly British, mostly over 50. This is Saga's luxury line, so expect quieter but very well-traveled crowd, more interested in museums and fine dining.
So Monday is a tale of two ships, large-scale German excursions and smaller groups of Brits soaking up the city center.
Palace Day might be the biggest day of all if the Iona comes in as expected. That's over 5,000 British passengers on one ship. Picture families, couples, and groups pouring into Malaga for shopping, sightseeing, and tapas.
It's still listed as pending, but if it docks, the city center will feel it. Calle Hilarious buzzing, Muelle Uno, packed, and plenty of coaches heading off for day trips.
And that's the charm of Malaga sport. One day is boutique and quiet, the next it's full of life and color.
The weekend shifts gears with two Viking ships. On Saturday, it's the Viking Vela, just under 1,000 passengers, and on Sunday, her sister ship, the Viking Satyrom.
And Viking passengers are a distinct crowd, affluent, curious, and often repeat travelers. They're the ones browsing artisan stalls, booking cultural tours, and looking for local wines or crafts to take home.
Perfect timing because Sunday also brings markets. El Zoco Maravilla at Muelle Uno and the Mercado de Merced. So Viking guests will find themselves surrounded by handmade jewelry, local fashion, and gourmet food stalls.
Don't forget the Daily Auto Market at Muelle Uno, running all week. It's a colorful backdrop of stalls, perfect for both locals and cruise visitors.
And on Friday, La Termesa hosts its Red Friday Market. Very artsy, very alternative. It's the kind of event that shows Malaga's creative side, not just its tourist one.
So whether it's big ships like Mein Schiff or boutique visits from Viking, Malaga's port is buzzing all week. From day trips inland to artisan shopping by the sea, the city is ready to welcome the world. And speaking of exploring, up next we've got our travel tip of the week, something a little special to inspire your own adventure along the Costa del Sol. Stay with us. You're listening to the weekly diary on Malaga Radio.
Malaga Radio.
So, Baptiste, if our listeners have been paying attention this week, they can probably guess our travel tip already.
Oh yes, we've dropped enough hints. It's the copper forest, the Bosque de Courberay, up in the Genal Valley.
Every autumn, those chestnut groves turn shades of gold, orange, and deep red. The whole valley transforms into a landscape that feels more like New England than southern Spain, but with white villages and tapas waiting at the end of the trail.
The classic walk is the circular route between Igualeja and Perotas, about 12 kilometers, 4 hours if you take it steady. Well marked, and if you're into hiking apps, you can even download the track on Wikiloc or Komoot.
And for those who prefer a guide, companies like G3 organize group hikes with nature experts. They'll explain the trees, the history, and even throw in stories about local traditions. It's a great option if you want a deeper connection and a bit of reassurance on the trail.
And the timing is everything. Late October through early November, usually peak color. But even now, you'll start to see hints of autumn. Add in a village tostin, chestnuts roasting in the plaza, and you've got the perfect day out.
So whether you're hiking it yourself or joining a guided group, the Copper Forest is our travel tip of the week. Take a jacket, take your camera, and take your time. This is Andalusia at its most magical.
And of course, you'll find links, trail maps, and tour options on malagradio.net, because if October has a signature walk, this is it.
Malaga Radio.
And that's our weekly diary for the 29th of September to the 5th of October, a week that proves Malaga is just as alive in autumn as in summer.
If you've enjoyed the ride, don't forget you can find all our episodes, past and present, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, YouTube, Alexa, wherever you like to listen.
And if you're curious about more, we've got other series too, Active Adventures for sports and outdoor lovers, Factor 50 and Town in Focus, and plenty more waiting for you.
Plus, you can join us every morning on Freshly Squeezed, live here on Malaga Radio from 8 to 11 a.m. with daily events, tips, and our usual banter.
And as always, details on everything we've mentioned are at malagradio.net.
Thanks for listening, and here's to a golden October on the Costa del Sol.
See you next week. Hasta luego.
Malaga Radio. Malaga Radio.